Hi yogis, it's me Nina. Welcome to my bedroom. We miss you at Clifton, but we want to keep up our practice and we really are hoping that you guys will join us. So tonight I'm going to take you through a little end of the day sequence, something to wind you down in the evening and hopefully help you get a better rest as you climb into your comfy, cozy bed. All you'll need for the practice is a folded blanket, something with a little bit of density to support your knees if you have it. So we're going to start. Let's turn toward our wide knee child's pose, bringing your knees apart and letting your big toes touch. You're going to let your heart space start to melt down toward the floor, bringing your arms ahead of you with nicely bent elbows so that it's not too much strain through your shoulders. Let your forehead touch down to the floor, closing your eyes. We'll spend the first moment observing the rise and fall of your breath, sensations in your body, the chatter in your mind. I'll invite you to deepen your breathing now, turning towards your ujjayi breath, that slight flow at the back of your throat, that ocean sound. The mantra we'll work with for this practice will be I inhale, I exhale. It can be as simple as that, or you're welcome to add a little piece. This week I've been working with I inhale love, I exhale fear. Another option might be I inhale peace, I exhale stress. I inhale calm, I exhale tension, anything that really feels like it resonates with you at this trying time. So coming back down to that child's pose, if you've lifted up, we're going to take it into a side bend. So big breath in. As you breathe out, you're going to walk your hands over to your left, lengthening your right side body. So finding your edge where you can feel your right rib cage and hip start to open a little. Nice, steady ujjayi breath here. And again, you're welcome to work with that mantra. Let your next inhale start to lift you slightly, come through the middle of your mat. And then as you breathe out, you're reaching to your right, finding that edge on your left side. Breathing here. Inhaling, we'll come back to center. Keeping your left hand into the ground, you're going to start to exhale and twist, threading your right arm under your left. You're dropping onto your right shoulder, the right side of your head. You can keep this left palm grounded for a little bit of support, or you can lift it up, turn your thumb down for some internal rotation of your shoulder, and set the back of your hand to your low back. A few deep breaths right here. If your hand is to your back, bring it off nice and slowly. Find that external rotation as you open up. Ground your left palm enough to inhale, lift up. Bring your right hand to the floor, and as you exhale, let's thread the other way, coming onto the left shoulder. Breathing here. Let your right arm come back to the floor to help support you, and then as you inhale, unraveling. We're going to bring ourselves right into table. Use your hands to press yourself upright, and then bring your knees into a hip width, so right down from that femur, nice long line. Let your hands come to the floor under your shoulders. We'll move through cat and cow. As you inhale, your belly drops, your tail tips up, your heart looks forward. As you exhale, you're going to round down, drop your head, draw your belly button back. Move through a few rounds. Each breath in finds that softness at the belly, openness in your chest. The breath out finds space between your shoulder blades. You might continue to say to yourself silently, I inhale love. I exhale fear. I inhale peace. I exhale tension. I inhale joy. I exhale stress. Let your next breath in bring you back to a nice long spine. We're going to move into downward dog. So curling your toes under, sitting your heels back a little. Your hands stay nice and connected to your mat as you start to lift your hips up and back. We're going to come to a nice deep V. Feel free to move a little bit, bend into your knees. You might twist gently from side to side if that feels good. You might even pedal one heel and then the other. Any amount of movement that feels good here to start to release any tension we're holding on to from the day. And then we'll bring it to stillness. So grounding into the balls of your feet, soften your knees and let your hips lift a little higher, keeping your hands deeply anchored. Find a place where your biceps can draw together, your head's nice and in line with your neck and your arms. 5 deep breaths here. On your next breath in, let your right toes float up any amount. And then as you breathe out, both knees soften. We're going to bring the right knee toward your belly and then up between your hands as you plant your foot. Let your left knee draw down toward the floor. You might use your mat for support, your blanket. Stacking your knee above your ankle. We're going to bring the left hand inside of that right foot and open up into a little twist. As you inhale, reach to the sky on your right. Your back toes can stay curled under, or the top of your foot can rest to the mat, whatever feels better for you. Beauty. As your next exhale comes, let your arm wrap behind you. Bring your hand down to the floor. We're going to shift our weight back. So a big breath in to lift your heart. As you breathe out, draw yourself long. Let your foot peel up from the floor. And then breathe into the back of your leg. Lovely. Keep it up, breathing deeply and quietly. Your next breath in is going to start to move you forward. Bring your hands to the floor. We're going to step back to that downward dog. Your left toes curl under as your knee lifts. We start to take that right leg back for a big stretch first. And then we settle both feet to the floor. A few breaths here in the center. On your next inhale, let's float the left toes up. As you breathe out, start to bring it through. We're settling into that lunge first. Your right knee touches down. Find some space at the front of your right hip and then bring your right hand to the floor inside of that left sole. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, stretching open. Few deep breaths more. Your next breath out will bring your arm down and around, nice little shoulder roll. Inhaling here to bring your heart forward. Exhale, let's draw that weight back. Find some nice activity at the front of your thigh by engaging through your quadriceps. Lift your kneecap a little, flex out through your foot. You're going to get a little more length in your hamstrings over time. We're going to rock it back into that lunge. Inhale, bring your weight forward. As you exhale, palms ground, toes curl under. Next breath in, we're going to stretch that left leg back and up. And then exhale, bring your soul to the floor. Another few breaths right here. We're going to come into a dangling forward fold. So next breath in, you're going to find soft knees. Your heels will lift up. Start to walk your hands back toward your feet and then let yourself drape over your legs. You're welcome to sway back and forth if that feels good. Let your head feel really heavy. You might rock from side to side or front to back using your fingertips for support. We'll let the next breath in start to transition us back to our downward dog. Start by bending your knees, and then you can walk your hands away from your feet. Anchor back, and then breathe. We're going to move into a sleeping pigeon. So it's the same beginning. Hands stay anchored. As you inhale, your right toes lift. As you exhale, softness through both knees. Start to bring your knee toward your belly, except this time your knee is coming toward your right wrist. And your shin settles across the mat as you scoot your left leg behind you. You might take your blanket along with you for your knee. And then uncurl your back toes. Inhale to press yourself nice and tall. And then exhale, let your heart start to melt forward. You can always put a pillow under your bum, or you can use anything to support under your forehead. If you have blocks at home, that's great. Otherwise, a pillow can do great. Let yourself drop down into it. And then breathe steady. take 3 more breaths on this side. We'll take our time starting to come out. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Let your left toes curl under to lift your knee from the floor. As you breathe in, press into your hands and then let that lift take you all the way up and back. Bring it back to your downward dog and take a breath. Let's move into the left side. Inhaling your toes up. As you exhale, bring yourself through, knee settling towards your left wrist, right leg scooching behind you. Inhale, press into your fingertips, lift yourself tall. As you exhale, hinge over your leg any amount and relax into the pose. I inhale love. I exhale fear. Last 3 breaths on this side. Let them be full and deep. We'll come out the same way, hands grounding under your shoulders, forehead lifting away as your toes curl under. Big breath in to press it up and back. Coming to that downward dog one more time. Feel your hands ground deeply, knees soften as you pull your hips away from your hands. We're going to come out by moving into a low squat. So walking your hands back the same way. I'm going to step forward here so you can see me. You can use your folded blanket to support your heels if when you squat, your heels don't touch the floor. Otherwise, blanket, you can just pull it out of the way. Big breath in here with a long heart. Turn your toes out so that when you exhale and sit yourself down, your knees go in the same direction as your toes. I'm going to turn forward. So we're looking, everyone's got a different angle. So your angle is your angle. Just make sure that your knees aren't dropping inward. We really want them to be out. You can use your elbows to support by coming to Anjali Mudra here. A few deep breaths coming back to your mantra. Great job. Last few breaths, long tailbone, big lift through your heart. I inhale love. I exhale fear. We're going to move on to our backs from here. So release your palms toward the floor, and you can just come onto your knees first. You can keep that folded blanket and use it as a pillow if that feels a little bit of support. Just bring it under your head and neck, but not your shoulders. So rolling yourself down onto your back. We'll first come to Upasana, bringing your left leg long. Let your right knee draw in towards your belly. You can interlace your fingers around your shin for support. Just a few deep breaths here. When your next inhale comes, start to drag your left sole along the floor. We're just going to use our hands to help turn that right hip open. So you're crossing your right ankle just onto your left thigh with a nice little flex through your foot. You can stay right here if that's enough hip opening for you. If you need a little deeper stretch, you're going to bring the whole package right toward you by lifting your left sole from the floor. I like to hold on to my knee and my foot rather than reaching through. That's an option as well. Here your shoulders get to relax into the mat a little more. As you breathe here, you might choose to take some little circles with your left ankle. You can go in both directions. Let your next exhale draw your belly button toward your spine for support, and then you can start to release your feet to the floor, unwrapping. Next, we're going to bring the right leg long. Big breath in. As you breathe out, your left shin comes toward you. Let's move into that figure four. Inhale to bring your right sole along the floor, and then we're going to take that little twist, crossing over. Stay here, or if you've got a little more space to move, you're going to bring the whole package in once again. Once you settle into the posture, you might choose those ankle circles again, moving both ways if you do. Next, exhale, using a strong belly to help support you. Unravel. Bring both feet to ground. We're going to bring feet as wide as the mat, and then just give our hips a little sway from side to side. You can hear my dog Murphy. He never stops barking. He's sweet as pie. Come back to center, and then heel and toe your feet together. We're going to take a little twist by pressing our feet into the floor. Bring your arms out to sides. Ground your palms down enough to lift your hips up and over to your left. Let a breath in, bring your knees to your belly, and a breath out, draw them across your body and toward the right. You can keep your left arm out to your side. Right arm can stay out or can come to support on the outer left thigh. You can keep your head in the center or choose to turn to the right or left. We'll move from that strong belly again. If your head's not aligned, bring it back to center. And then as you inhale, unravel. Take a moment to bring your hips to the middle of your mat and then all the way over to the right edge. We'll move the same way. Your inhale brings your knees to your belly. Your exhale draws them across and to your left. I inhale love. I exhale fear. Allow your head to come back to center first. And then on our next breath in, start to turn your legs back to center. Use your feet to help bring your hips back to the middle of your mat. You might come in for a little squeeze with both knees or a gentle rock back and forth, just loosening everything up one last time. So from here, I'll invite you to come to Shavasana or to hop right into bed if that's better. If you're tired, you're ready to rest, now's a good time to crawl into bed. You can take that sort of Shavasana pose in bed by bringing your legs long, maybe with a pillow propped under your knees if that feels good. Let your toes fall apart, turning your palms up. Give yourself space to take a few big breaths in through your nose with a nice big exhale through your mouth. Let those sighs relax your muscles, relax your joints, and relax your mind. So either staying here for a handful of minutes and then heading to bed or getting straight into bed, like I said. We love you so much and we hope everyone's safe and healthy and happy. Can't wait until we meet again in person.